Married at First Sight has come out with a brand new TV series called Unmatchables, which I can already tell is going to be a mess. Which brings me to the question, why wasn't Chris on this show? However, the premise of this show is looking like it's actually going in an entirely different direction. In the very first episode, we saw only two people. We saw an unmatchable girl and an unmatchable guy. So we're just going to start with Miss Ashley, just like they did on the episode. They came in and they just gave us a quick snapshot of what appeared to be Ashley's audition tape for the show. And I'm not going to lie, my very first impressions of Ashley was that while she was cute, Ashley was a lot. I could definitely see why she was unmatchable within the first 2 minutes of the episode. Ashley was pooting all over the place, baby. When I tell you, baby girl ain't got no shame. It ain't really, and listen, I feel you. There ain't no shame in your game when you at the house, when you around your loved ones, when you around your boo, your man, your babe, your roommate, whatever it is. I get where you coming from, but baby girl was pooting all loud in the grocery store, and later on in the episode, them poots came back to haunt us all, honey. You know, I'm a good old Southern male, honey. You know, Southern manners, Southern hospitality, your P's, your Q's, your etiquettes, and all that good stuff. So, along with the fact that she likes to poot, what else we knew about Ashley was primarily also the fact that she has lived with her best friend and roommate for 11 years. So they moved to Atlanta and she has been living with her roommate ever since. Now the sticky icky part of that is the fact that Miss Ashley ain't dated nobody since she been in Atlanta. And again, I say she been in Atlanta for the last 11 years. Codependent, borderline, kind of weird type of relationship going on. Now, there is nothing wrong with your best friend being your road dog, your partner, your roommate, whatever. But there does become a point where you are so attached to the hip, to your bestie, that you is kind of like pushing out the testes, okay? Like you're not letting no testosterone up in your zone. And I feel like maybe that is what's going on, because it just seemed like, just from her own conversation, it was like a package deal type of situation. Now moving on to the male unmatchable in this episode, which was Mr. Xavius. Now, immediately, you know, I had so many feelings and thoughts about Xavius. Some I will share with you as we continue on with this video, and some I'm gonna keep to myself. But first and foremost, the very first impression that I got of Xavius is that it's gonna be impossible, or dang near impossible, for anybody to love Xavius as much as Xavius loves himself, okay? Xavius loves himself, honey. He loves a good eyebrow arch, and he is very meticulous, according to him, about his hair, but not only that, about a smell. With the perfume, it was like his opening line, what are you wearing? And I don't know, it's just, I love to smell good as a woman. I'm not gonna lie, I wear fragrance strictly for the house every day. Like, I ain't went nowhere but gonna walk around the house in my good perfume sometime if I want to. So I get it, but it was just like, it was strange. And then we get to the fact that this man is the whole funeral director, aka the Undertaker. And then it begins to make a little bit of sense why he's so attached to smells, because honestly, you ain't smelling nothing but dead people and embalming fluid all day long. So of course, he is going to be attracted to a nice smelling anybody, a warm body. So my first thoughts of Xavius was just initially, Kyle Barker, okay? He gives me very much Kyle Barker. But also, I think now would be a great opportunity to just pause. I do believe that love is love, and I'm sure there are plenty of interesting storylines and just different things that we could delve into if they decided to start matching same-sex couples, and if people feel comfortable enough applying for the show to do so. And that's all I'm gonna say about that, okay? So as we got on with this episode, essentially the experts are meeting with the unmatchables, you know, talking with them, discussing with them things that could be potential quirks and problems that they may want to work on or just tone down a little bit just to improve their dating. No sooner than we start to slowly put the pieces together that they are going to pair Xavier and Ashley, do we come to quite possibly one of the most cringe, uncomfortable, downright weird, was you doing this for the shock factor or the views or the tweets that was gonna come afterwards? Because what in the hell? We find Ashley and the expert in an adult store, and it starts off okay. The expert is having Ashley try on some things, kind of trying to discuss with her the decisions that she's making and making sure that she is making these decisions whether or not to be celibate or whether or not to even kiss somebody from a place, again, of empowerment and not just obligation or just for lack of putting herself out there. Again, if that is something that you choose to do, you just want to always make sure that you are choosing it from a place that empowers you. When the expert brought out this chicken cutlet, white-lipped, open-mouth, sex toy, silicone looking thing and handed it to Ashley to kiss, y'all, if y'all could have saw my face and heard my scream, if I was Ashley, first of all, I mean, I probably would be actually 11 years in, but if I was Ashley, I would have walked right on out on her, okay? Because you playing with me, you playing with my time, and you playing on my top, whatever that means. Let's just move on. She hands her this thing, and this girl actually kisses it. And it is the most cringe thing I have ever seen. I'm sorry. I don't even know how she did that with a straight face, and I don't know how she agreed to it. But furthermore, you would have had a clip on me saying, why you hand me this white man? And then she trusts to say, do you want to try to kiss again? After the girl done kissed it and it already just looked and sound not like anything I ever want to see or experience again. The expert has the nerve to ask her, do she want to try it with some tongue? Now, thankfully, that girl said no, and if I do, I'll try it at home, because if she would have stuck her tongue in that thing on TV, I just would have been done. I would have had to turn it off, because now y'all playing with me. What she should have did, or what I would have done, I would be like, you do it first. Let me see. I don't know what I'm doing. You show me. Like, how you gonna hand me this thing? I already told you I don't know what I'm doing. You gonna hand me this thing making me look a fool. Just a fool. And I'm done with her. Like, I am done with that expert, because she really be playing, girl. So long story short, you guys, they pair Ashley and Xavier up, get them ready to meet on their blind date. They done hooked my boy Xavier up with a fresh edge up temp fade, you know what I'm saying? He done took the sponge and made the curls on it, got his old Kevin Hart stereotypical Atlanta guy haircut going on for the first blind date. So, you know, women be late, child, especially on the first day. She's trying to look good. You know, she doing all this. She had to make sure that she packed Mark or Mitch or Mike or whatever his name was, did a little thing that she put in them. So she shows up, and literally the first thing he says to her is, you're late. And it's just like, ew. You know, like, ew, okay, I am late. That is, you know, not the best etiquette again. Southern charm, girl. You've been living in Atlanta for 11 years. You know about etiquette. I get it, but it was a little tacky for him to say that she was late, but you know, I get it. So for a little bit there, I feel like it got a little awkward, a little weird. Girl just straight out in the middle of a conversation let out the loudest poot in public I think I done heard ever. And again, it's just like, okay now, like that's just in a restaurant. Like, we're not even talking about like etiquette and manners, just on some ladylike type stuff. Just the fact that you just pooting off willy-nilly freely in the restaurant while I'm drinking. My mouth could have been open, like I'm actively drinking a drink and you're pooting, like no. However, they pushed literally and figuratively on through, and they just continued to have a conversation. And surprisingly, y'all, almost I think to every single person who was watching this episode, surprise, they ended up hitting it off really well. He was really understanding how to form a real bond with somebody. They was hugging out close, baby. He was, you know, trying to catch her in the eyes and like getting real close to her. I could tell he was beginning to put his little smooth little Mac on and stuff. You could tell he was feeling her a little bit. And you know, as they got closer, you could tell she was, you know, a little uncomfortable. She was a little nervous. But all in all, they end up kissing, y'all, like a real kiss, not like a little mwah. So the day ended up being very successful. He ended up getting her number at the very end of the day, and even at the end in a little update, they let us know that they end up going out on another date to a cemetery, you know, but they're both quirky, so it is what it is. But I don't know nothing. I'll just be talking. Personally, I really enjoyed this episode. It had a lot of moving parts to it, and at the very beginning I wasn't initially sold. I didn't think this was necessarily going to be something that I was going to invest my time watching, because the experts were and still are with that little toy stunt on a thin ice, on hanging on by a thread with me. However, by the end of the episode, it made me feel like, okay, maybe they know a little bit of what they're talking about, because at the very least, even if there wasn't a love connection, I do feel like Ashley and Xavier will probably be very cordial and maybe even friends and bar buddies for a long time to come. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and be sure to let me know your thoughts on this episode down in the comment section below.